Hello, my name is Aidan Zink, and I'm here to talk about the frames that we have discussed over this last semester in class. What are frames and what are their benefits? Frames are tools used to look at the world, more specifically people or organizations, to better understand what is happening within the inner mechanisms of the company or just people and their minds in general, also their character. I like to think of this as a way to better understand how people or companies view and handle situations that arise. Using frames, we can understand and look at different situations in different ways. Being able to see a situation through many lenses gives us the ability to identify problems that we may not have seen in the first go around. And instead, with looking through different lenses, we can pinpoint exactly what we must do to move the project forward or the situation that we are in because we are able to look at them through different perspectives. What are these types of frames? There are four major frames: blue, red, yellow, and green. People who lead with blue are very deliberate in what they do. They look for information, especially the little details. An example I like to think of is someone who triple checks their work when they do homework to make sure everything is correct. People who lead with red like to get things done very efficiently, as efficient as possible. And they're also very perseverant in what they do. They won't really take, no, this isn't possible for an answer, or you can't do this in time. And I like to think of them as someone who takes charge of a project. People who lead with yellow are very open-minded, they're sociable, they enjoy working with people. They're the ones who go to a party and just talk to almost everyone there. People who lead with green like to put others first. Relationships are very important to them. They're very reliable and they support others when necessary. They are the friend who is ready to help anyone at a moment's notice. What is the act of reframing? I like to think of reframing as taking a step back and looking at a picture through more than just one frame. As a matter of fact, all of them actually. Uh, so you can fully understand everything that's happening. And also, it's important to consider that reframing could be pretty difficult because not everyone is really good at seeing through um, every lens. For example, someone who leads with blue might have a difficult time looking through the yellow frame because they're not very sociable or they can't really see the culture in a company. My personal frames, I definitely see green in myself as well as a little bit of blue. I love putting others first, and I get fulfillment from being able to do that and sharing my gifts with others. Also, I enjoy talking to people one-on-one or in smaller groups rather than big groups because I can get to know that person or those people even better. With Blue, working on my assignments or doing actual homework, I like to get it right the first time. And sometimes I'm even often skeptical when others try to do something for me. And I do catch myself just doing the problem anyways to make sure that they did it right. Some strengths I have with the green frame are I am pretty good at identifying how others feel, and with that, I'm also good at empathizing with them to figure out what situation they're really in and how I can make them feel better about it. I do overthink a lot of things in situations, especially what other people say. I often take it pretty personally, even when I do know that they are joking. It just somehow gets to me. How do frames help leaders understand organizations? Uh, Frames can help leaders understand organizations because as a team, not everyone thinks the same, and leaders need to acknowledge that. An example we learned in class, or an example we had of this in class, is how a marketing team within a company and a manufacturing team really won't ever be on the same page as each other. And it is important to acknowledge that not everyone will always be on the same page. Leaders can use these frames to see the issues in different perspectives, allowing for more possible solutions if just a change of perspective is done. Also, leaders need to remember that because people see through different frames and not everyone does think the same, there could be a conflict within a group because people have different solutions, but they might not like another person's. and they might like theirs better. Which frames are most important? I think there isn't just one frame that's more important than the others. I think blue, red, yellow, and green all kind of need to work in unison with each other. And I think it is very important for a company to acknowledge this or just a leader in general. Um, it is necessary for leaders to understand that these colors must work with one another because only then will everything click within a team or an organization. If one color is overriding the others, then everything will eventually make it more difficult for everyone involved in the team. Another example we had from class is how an organization focuses most in the blue category, but maybe they have a little bit of red as well. But since they only focus on red and blue, they completely lack green and yellow. And then the company fails to acknowledge their employees who may start to feel unappreciated, and in turn, they may burn out quickly or not value that the work that not value the work that they do because of the lack of acknowledgement for them in the workplace. It is necessary that organizations pay attention to all of the frames, and only then will all of the bases be covered. And with that comes acknowledging employees, having a culture within the workplace, a coherent schedule, which is focusing more on the red frame, and then an overall good structure of the organization and your team. And with all of those in mind, only then will a team truly be able to get the best work that they can done because everything is acknowledged, not just one frame taking over, because that can then lead to a lot of conflict. Well, thank you so much, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you.